Ah, Agent 4. I've been waiting for you. Thanks to you, both the Great Zapfish and Callie are back, and peace has returned to Inkopolis. That being said, no one except us knows what truly happened, so don't expect the city to throw you a parade or anything. It's like they always say, the path of a hero is a lonely one. Wait, they don't say that? But they say all sorts of things. Well, whatever. I was able to confine DJ Octavio in the snow globe. I'll keep an eye on him to make sure he stays out of trouble. I'm gonna slow roast him until until the leader of the new Squidbeak Splatoon comes back. Let me out of here! I'm starving! Love it. Anyway, you really impressed me. I can't thank you enough. Huh, you wondering about that? I had Sheldon put that there. It'll allow you to listen to the latest single from the Squid Sisters. Fresh start, anytime that you want. Hope you like it. Stay fresh. And with that, hey guys, welcome to a bonus part of Let's Play Splatoon 2. And in this video, we're going to go ahead and take a look at all the extra stuff now we can do in the single player mode that once we beat the main adventure. So for starters, we got DJ Octavio just sitting here in a snow globe. You can go ahead and shoot him up, and he's a little upset with that one, but nothing really too big of a deal. And you can come over to this little TV here, just like Marie said, and you can go ahead and rewatch the credits whenever you want. So if you want to go ahead and play this little mini game again for watching the credits and just shoot up the ink, you can go ahead and do so, but we don't really want to do that again because we already watched the credits once. So that's one way you can go ahead and listen to Fresh Start again if you want. There's another way you can go ahead and do that, and we'll be taking a look at that later. But now Marie's just flat out gone, so let's just go ahead and go back to the square and come right back into this area, and then something else will change. So as you can see here, coming back into the Octo Canyon area here, we don't just have Marie back in this area, we now have Callie here as well. Oh, hey Agent 4, it's Callie, remember? I tried to kill you. Yeah, sorry about that, but I'm back on the up and up, promise. In any case, the Squid Sisters and the new Squidbeak Splatoon are ready to roll. I gotta hang out here until Gramps and Agent 3 come back from whatever they're doing. Seriously, where did Gramps wander off to? So, this was something that wasn't originally in Splatoon 2. When you beat the game, Marie would only be here. Callie would be nowhere to be found. They later added Callie into the Octo Canyon area in a later update to Splatoon 2. So now whenever you want, you can just come here and just talk to these two, and they'll just give you different flavor text. Hey, what do we call that salmon run move we came up with when you activate an inkjet near the basket to grab far-off eggs? Round trip ticket. That's a little hint that you can go ahead and use in Salmon Run. That's a nice little trick that I use every once in a while when I have the inkjet special. It's a pretty good move. I really like your kimono, Marie. I always saw you as more of a sweatpants type for some reason. Thanks? Ooh, I'll see if I have my own Kiyomo at home. We could be the Kiyomo cousins. Ah, funny. Spelt with a K. Hey, what do we call it when you're carrying a power clam and clam blitz when someone's using a bubble blower and defending you? Unlikely? Oh, that's just a weird pun. Did you hear? Annie was getting flustered whenever the store got busy, so she took her business online. I hear her store is blowing up, but yeah, face-to-face interaction isn't her strong suit. So that's a nice little flavor text thing for one of the shops. You can actually access it via the Nintendo Switch Online app on a mobile phone. So that's what I mean by online. You can technically buy gear without even turning on the game. Let's go ahead and talk to them one more time. You know that trick we can toss a sprinkler at the end of a battle to ink a bit more turf? What do we call that again? Last day of summer. You really gotta draw out the R on that last word. No, that's just a weird pun. I don't get it as much, but sure. That was funny. So, that's one thing you can go ahead and do. You can talk to Callie and Marie, and it'll give you a lot of flavor text. But there's another thing we can go ahead and do. At any point, we could have came back to one of these levels, and as you can see, we have Sheldon requests for all the other weapons. And we only have completed every level with one weapon. So if I go to records, you can see I have a best time with a certain weapon, and all the others are grayed out, saying that we haven't done it. So let's go ahead and change our weapon over to the roller, and let's jump back into the Return of the Octarians. So jumping right into this level, the first thing we're going to be noticing different is that as soon as we load in, now we have a timer on the top of the screen. So after your first playthrough, this timer will show up telling you just how fast you can play through a level. So now we basically have a speedrun mode unlocked. So at this point, we can go ahead and use this mode just to see how fast we are with certain weapons. And it's a very interesting thing to do if you want to go ahead and test yourself and just see how fast you can beat a level with a certain type of weapon. And this is actually a really nice thing for the speedrunning scene because this timer helps them out a lot. They'll use this to base what level is faster with what type of weapon, along with the fact that it just helps them in general just understand how fast they can go through a level for practicing, and also just for leaderboards in general. Having a timer here is very interesting now, and it gives you more of an incentive to replay a level now because you can go ahead and speedrun through it as fast as you can, getting a better time. And the time's tracked by a specific weapon too, so you can always come back in here and beat your record that you set with, say, the roller with the charger weapon instead. And then there you go, now you have a new record with a new weapon, and it'll reflect that on your record screen. So it's just a nice little fun thing you can go ahead and do. And honestly, it's not really something I'm that big of a fan of because I'm not really that much of a speedrunning type, but I can definitely see the appeal of this, and I really love just how they added a timer to these levels. So it gives you more of an incentive, like I said earlier, to replay, figure out what weapons you like, and it's just a good way to just go back through these levels in general. But here I'm just going to go ahead and just beeline my way through it. And because we have different bombs as well now, we can go ahead and speed through this level even quicker with things like the curling bomb, so that makes things a little bit easier too. And now we know the strategies for getting through this quicker. We don't have to worry about stopping as much or even collecting any things anymore because we have the sunken scroll and the sardinium in these levels in general. So we can just beeline our way out of here. And we can even skip this section here by just jumping over. There's a lot of different speedrunning tricks you can go ahead and learn by just doing these levels quick like this. So that's just a fun thing about replaying these levels on a timer as well. Again, this is not really my kind of thing because I'm not really the type to just want to go through level too fast because it doesn't really matter to me all too much. It's fun to do this every once in a while, but I don't really care if I get a good time in this because there's no real reward for getting a fast time here. You just do it because you want to. That's pretty much it. But it's good to test yourself. And now that we're at the end of the level, we grab the Zapfish, and since we already collected the Zapfish in a level, now it gets replaced with this little stuffed version of the Zapfish. It's a fake one. And that just shows that you've already beaten the level, but there's something there for you to grab in the end. And I love the animation that plays with it. But there you go. Now we complete this level with the roller, and we can go ahead and complete this level with every single type of weapon. So, I'm going to go ahead and grab the charger, and I'm going to go ahead and now just beat this level with every type of weapon. So, I'll see you guys back here once I complete the final weapon challenge. So after you beat a level with every single type of weapon in Splatoon 2, Sheldon will thank you for your efforts, and that's all the data he needs for that said location. Try out different weapons in other areas, and we'll be rolling in more data in no time. Here's a little something for helping me out with my tests. Go get your reward. You earned it. This here is a meal ticket, so after you clear out an area with every single type of weapon, you'll get a reward from Sheldon. On screen now are a list of all the rewards you get in every single area. As you can see, he gives you a good amount of stuff. Most of them are meal tickets here. So this does help you in general for just grinding out some of those extra meal tickets to use in the multiplayer mode. But there's another important thing to note here too. If you clear every single level in Splatoon 2 single player with every single type of weapon, then this is how you will unlock those weapons to use in multiplayer. You need to play through every single level with every type of weapon to do this. So it's a very long grind. And at that point, I would just recommend, if you only care for one type of weapon, say you just want the Hero Shot replica, just play through every single level with the Hero Shot replica in Splatoon 2. Then you'll unlock that weapon to use in the multiplayer mode. So it's a long grind. It may not be worth it to some, but at the same time, it's a good way to replay these levels once again without just starting a new file. You just replay them with those weapons, try to get a better time, and playing through every single level with every type of weapon is a nice incentive for you to go ahead and unlock more weapons to use in the multiplayer mode of this game as well. Once you unlock the weapon you want to use from the single player mode in the multiplayer mode of Splatoon 2, head over to the Sheldon shop in the main plaza of Splatoon 2, and you'll talk to Sheldon and he'll give you the whole speech of saying, you did a great job in the Octo Canyon, and I've done some research and made these replicas of the hero weapons. So now you can go ahead and purchase the weapons from the single player mode of Splatoon 2 to use in multiplayer. These are modified versions of the same weapons you can already find in Splatoon 2's multiplayer mode, so they have different subs and different specials compared to some of the ones that you have in multiplayer. We'll talk more about how these weapons work in general for the multiplayer mode once we actually start covering the multiplayer of this game in general, but these guns function very similarly in the multiplayer as they do in the actual single player campaign. That's pretty much what I wanted to show with the weapons, but there's one more thing I want to go ahead and take a look at, and that's a boss rematch here in general. So we can refight any boss in this game. I'm going to go ahead and actually refight the final boss of this game. So I'll jump all the way back to World 5 here, the Cephalon HQ. And before jumping into our Bomb Rush Blush once again, let's go ahead and pick a different weapon this time around. And for this one, you know what, let's go ahead and pick the Charger. So let's go ahead and jump back into this boss fight here and fight him with a Charger this time around. Charger is one of the better weapons to fight DJ Octavio with because you want something long range to hit those fists before they even get to the floor. So Sniper is good for this. A lot of the short range weapons are a little bit harder to hit, but some of the bosses actually do change a little bit when you're using these weapons. So we take the boss fight from World 4 for example. The arena itself is going to be different depending on what weapon you use to fight the boss. So if you're using something short range like the roller or the dualies, then there are going to be extra rails and bounce pads added in the boss fight, simply just because it's going to be next to impossible for you to reach the boss's weak point with a short range weapon. But if you use something long range like the Splatling, then the boss arena is going to be the exact same as if you're using the Charger, simply because you can still reach the boss's weak point and there's no need to change the arena. But in this boss fight in particular, we got some new dialogue here as well. Wait, seriously? Why are you here, Callie? We already rescued you! You're just in time for the encore performance. Why would you put those stupid brainwashing sunglasses back on? They look good on me, okay? No one throws shades in my shades and gets away with it. Hey, DJ! I remix Callie's brain, and now I'm a remix her face. Let's hit with her single, Bomb Rush Blush. Peep this. I just love these shades. They're so fresh. So, this is pretty much the biggest difference with this boss fight in particular. The arena doesn't really change depending on your weapon, but when you replay this boss fight now, I just love how they explain why Callie's back here. Because in terms of actual story reasons, there's no reason for her to actually be here anymore. We saved Callie, and there's no reason for her to be brainwashed, but she just liked those shades way too much. So she just comes back here, puts them back on, and now she's brainwashed again by DJ Octavio. I don't know how he was able to trick her twice, but man, this guy has some good brainwashing powers if he can trip her twice like that. So, yeah, this is pretty much the boss fight. Every time you attack, you get more flavor text here that's different from the first time you fight. So I'm just going to go ahead and fight DJ Octavio here once again. I'm just going to go ahead and cut through all the different flavor texts we get in between the rounds. Hey, no fair! Huh. This fight reminds me of a certain Splatfest. Ah! Shut up, Grandma! DJ, dubstep your game up! Yeah. I'm here. Ugh. Not again. The Hypno Shades. Callie, forget about those stupid sunglasses. Now Agent 4. Well, Callie is stunned. End DJ Octavio's career. Double time. Warp beatdowns per minute. Yeah, okay. Dash punch, yada yada. Ah, you got ink right in my eye. The Loltite ink is working. Callie's coming too. Callie, remember. The world's reflected in our songs. And our songs are reflected in the world. I remember. I'm back! The Squid Sisters are back! Again. Agent 4, that's the super modded Rainmaker. You know how to use it, right? You hold down the ZR button to increase pressure, then let it go to fire it. Now make it rain. I want to do this, but it's time to drop the C bass. Look, I know you DJs recycle old content for a living, but at least get some new dialogue. Again? So sad. Crossfade to black. So after you beat the rematch here on DJ Octavio, he now drops a Zapfish for you to grab. So you don't just get thrown straight into the credits now after beating this guy again, which is good. Because you have to replay this boss fight multiple times to unlock all the weapons. So you have to keep on rewatching the credits? That would suck. I'm glad they skipped the credits for this one, but yeah. That's pretty much everything I wanted to go ahead and show here because now we got everything out of the way. You can go ahead and replay these levels with any of the weapons you want, unlock extra things to use in the multiplayer, including the weapons themselves. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. So let's go ahead and jump away back over to the first world here and go ahead and call it a video. Thank you guys for watching, and with that, I'll see you guys next time when we jump into the multiplayer of Splatoon 2.